Hi, my name's Kim, and this is my first book being published with Tate Publishing, A Unique Window into the Soul's Understanding of Reality. And all my books are of a New Age genre. They speak of mysticism. Um, they also bring in religion and just daily thought of what our minds go through. And they try to go through a purging or a leveling within our being as we work through our thoughts, but they do it with a kind of like painting a picture. So each time that you read these writings, they have a different meaning. So I'm going to again introduce you to a unique window into the soul's understanding of reality. I'd like to say that I'm very proud of Tate Publishing and their work in putting a face to my manuscript. I've been blessed, I believe, with some spirit-led writings that were initially inspired while on a long-term assignment at a middle school here in Southern California, teaching writing. We started submitting work, essays. The kids really were into the horror stories and horror essays, and I was also writing along with them and submitting. And so my first two writings or manuscripts were picked up, and I have a third one that's been offered a contract, and then another one as well. And I just finished my um, fifth writing called The Lonely Island before Rhode Island, and that one is also going to be kind of a romance novel. There's two, a Chinaman and a Dutch girl that actually come together, meeting of the mind, twin flames, and they kind of go through um, a mind prophecy of what is to come for this country and what has gone before, all the way back to, if you believe, Atlantis, Lemuria, and ancient cultures. A unique window into the soul's understanding of reality uses spiritual, philosophical, factual mind dialogue to inspire and cause deep thought into questioning who we really are inside. I feel people are searching for more of an Eastern nature in that it is holistic in meeting one's needs. I believe that my essays take on this approach in that it brings subliminal thought into the reader for a new individual recognition of themselves. This creative purging of layered recognitions of the mind is an orchestrated presentation using mythology, divine spirits, nature, masters of old to create a cohesive effort of harmony and seeing all layers of our being. And now I'm going to jump right into the second volume of this book. It is called Mind Dialogue 6, A New Way, A New Day. And it could be read to rap. It does have a rhythm and style. All of my writings have the same poetic thread that seems to be fun and creative that runs through it. So, you may find yourself snapping your fingers or tapping your toes when you read. Now, all rhythm and rhyme have a place in due time, but our stories will end with a beat of a vowel or maybe a consonant or two if you know what to do. Now, remember your colors, your vibrations too, for these are what allow me to touch you. Look at the chakras, the auras that we share. Let's start with our feet and move up with the beat. As we ascend near the top, hold on to our turban so the protein won't spill out like bourbon. These fabrics on our scalp serve a purpose, you know. They are not just another pretty mat to be worn as a hat. Now let's look at these 7 chakras that we hold, these spirals of sorts that hold our universal consciousness to a mold. They serve as our cosmic bath to clean out our holes. Don't forget to toss in your mind and your voice for a cleaning as well. Once ignited, these wheels, their energy, will move up the spine. So start with your base, buttocks, if you will, and remember this is our yellow pill. Here we are grounded in directions, first going east, then west, now north and south. This will cover our flow as the snake-like energy revs up its life. It makes its next stop just below the button from whence Mother fed each of you before you had a head. This color puts off her energy from red petals that flow. Now that power has increased our next stop, you see. We will be with our friend right about at the bend. These petals grow blue and bring out our fire. Now these many petals do grow with their yellows to feed our headstrong desires. You know this fourth chakra moves on up the spine to the place that we call our six-pointed star. These petals of green represent our element of air, which bathes the heart with a sensitive joy to bring out our arts, as if these things were our toys. Now, Dr. Seuss, you might say, is invading our space, but truly it seems that he's now working with our elder of genes. This is silly, you know, but just as an example of our euphoric state of unblocking our chakras and clearing these cylinders so that they can whistle and flow. These next three are really vital to you and me, but the previous four we have known before. Now look at this throat chakra, smoky purple. You say, now this transmits the voice to be clear so that your acknowledgement can be what we hear. The next chakra is our high commander. It has only two petals of pearly blue. This is where the yam sound resides and vibrates to the cells so that they can ring like bells. Now finally, the thousand-petaled crown is here for our seeing of an expanding, intuitive nature that once was bound. So uncover your eyes and learn how the mind grows. Thanks to our ancient Hindu, you know, these talked about places are etched here on earth for a reference of sorts to keep us on course. So if you're not moving along just so, get out your crystals and line them up all in a row on the points along your engine to clear out all that is in tow. Now, if this sight I now hold becomes too bold from the messengers that are now being loosed from their mold, let your intuitive eye learn to decipher like that of a good spy, for the other points that you see can really be likened like wheels of motion that swirl like the ocean. The waters do warm as the currents increase, for these we can see our stars just like those viewed from the beach. The heavenly energies out there are the same as the holograph reflection that you now need to tame, for the body you mold will eventually grow old, but in the meantime you will prime all those engines that are our gold, all seven and flow as that snake has the space to loop itself to the crown and then again back down. Now he swirls in a crazy eight, crisscrossing and crossing the spiritual flow to meld with those animal fluids, you know. Now, this is the secret to releasing the stars once your hormonal fluids turn on the glands and collide with all that you have inside. This spiral that's formulating out of the sacred geometry of a conch shell causes all of us, to become all a swell. This will teach uniformity to each of our cells once the meditations begin, and we will be ready to swim. Why rhyme? You say, I have not a clue, but just as you, I'm learning here too. Dr. Zeus has splashed his technique here as well, so let's have some fun just between you and me. I'm not sure about yours, but my cells have been chewing on these words and are now cooing. Some of these masters, like Shakespeare and Zeus, were known to steer a bit weird, but now, as we see, their technique was anything but bleak. Some may be labeled a bit special or dyslexic and slow, but these are the greats whom we did not really know, for that this lot of labeled special incarnate themselves into what we now know as our backward and such of their dendrite connectors that we need and use so much. You now see through the eyes of a before gone Einsteins who mastered their worlds in a place all alone until this world would allow it to be their home. So this Einstein you see did eventually get along splendidly. Now won't you keep these kernels in mind while you continue to dine here on this fine wine? This is a new day, now that for talents to begin, so flow with its pleasures and accept this invitation to tap in. For surely as the heavens shine above, your talents will now ascend as limitless white doves. Now that both Volume 1 and 2 are complete, the purpose of this tale was to inspire deep inside each reader their own subliminal thoughts in an effort of harmony and seeing all layers of our being at once. To now complete the entire picture of one's world in its limitless form of our being of selves, hopefully, has made my platform of provoking thought apparent. This mind's eye picture has, after this reading, been through a full mental surfacing of all levels of thought, that many modalities and techniques to create one complete idea of our existence that will allow for a connection to my next book, The Mayan Calendar Smashes to the Ground. This is New Age prophecies that take us even deeper into thought with this style of philosophical mind enlightenment. So again, a unique window into the soul's understanding of reality is truly of a rhythm of poetic mysticism and colorful writings that should just be fun and relax and different each time that you read. This next book flows right into even more creative adventure of the mind of a girl that is going to school here at UCSD at the Salk Institute. She's working on her dissertation